I think obviously great advert of football for the fans here at the stadium at home. Obviously first half we started well. The first 20 minutes we had good intensity, good actions. We could have turned moments into chances, which we didn't. And obviously two silly mistakes gives Richards Bay the 2-0. And then for the last 20 minutes we played with no intensity and not with the character that represents our club ethos and values. So at halftime we had some strong words with the boys. Basically it just felt like they were giving up. So we just said to them like they needed to come out, they needed to get crosses in, get balls in the box, ask Richards Bay some questions, which first half we didn't do enough of. And thankfully we came out, nice cross, Kibo scores, and we get the second from a corner. And then obviously for us the draw is not the result we need. We need to try and get the win. So we have to commit numbers forward. They obviously on counter create 2-3 big chances. We also get one, and then the luck came for us. We got the third. They didn't get the third. We got it. So massive win for us. I think it's not fair on Richards Bay to say that they deserve to lose the game, but I can only speak for my team, and I'm proud of the second half effort.
Coach, you had a not so good first half, but second half you came back and scored those beautiful 3 goals in succession. And I'm looking at the chase. You guys have won it back to back, and now you get to be chasing each other with Kaizer Chiefs. What does it say to have a new team that is taking you on, and how far are you from taking this one as well?
Yeah, I mean, the level of consistency shown. I did a little exercise since sort of the first 30-game completed season, which was after the COVID, the Shield that was played, the 8-game Coastal. So let's say the last, including this one, the last 4 seasons, we've got the most points out of every team. So I did that exercise, and obviously 2 league trophies in the way. It's a great testament to our consistency and to how our club is doing things in terms of managing younger players coming through the ranks. And obviously all of this is possible because of the leadership of Coach Steve, my mentor, and how he runs the club and how he balances so well, players coming through, players moving on, and that is amazing. So I think a lot of credit goes to everyone at the club. How we run and how we manage the club sees these fruits, and yeah, it's amazing. Look, if we do our job and win our games, we're going to end with 60+ points this season, which normally, especially on a 28-game season, it's usually enough to win a league title. Obviously, if Kaizer Chiefs go on to get more than us, which they are primed to do right now on the log, we can only celebrate them. But I would say no team deserves to lose the title. Only one will win it, and whoever does it deserves it, but it's also unfair to say either deserve to lose the title. But we have to keep doing our job. We've got 3 games to go. We're going to try and get wins on those ones. And then, and if we do that, we've achieved our targets that we set ourselves for in the beginning of the season. And I can only be proud of the players for doing that.
What do you think, Coach, will be the difference between you and Kaizer Chiefs, because they are chasing that trophy for the first time? You have an experience. Do you think that will give you an edge with that?
Look, I think so. Obviously, the game's intensified. They got a massive draw against us last week. Obviously, we needed to win that game because it would have made every moment. We know how we suffered to win it last year. In the final game, 2-0 up in Tsakane and against Arrows, and to find the mental to go 2-2 and then concede 3-2 and then still find 2 goals. We had to do it the previous time we won it with losing 1-0, Van Wyk scoring 2 goals. We know how tough it is. They've got wonderful players and wonderful coaches, so they can do it, but we've just got to keep it alive as long as possible so that they can feel that heat and see. But they've done a great job, and whoever gets it in the end here is, like I said, will be deserving champions.
I mean, clearly there's something good that's happening at certain point in terms of the youth. How do you get it right? If maybe you can advise other teams that are trying to emulate you.
I think the one thing that is hard to replicate at Stellenbosch, and I say this with humility, is the amazing trust there is amongst the people at the club. So, like, if you just take a guy like Coach Steve gave me my first coaching opportunity as like in this role at Tuks, Rama Tuks, all the way back in 2008. I was 23 years old, and I coached the Castle team, which have seen players like Grant Kekana come through there, So that's just one example, and he believes in me, trusts in me. So when we speak openly. If you see it, Coach Wesley, his right-hand man in the first team, is someone that Coach Steve saw potential in, also at Tuks, and gave him an opportunity to work with him from a very young age. So if you look at the three of us, and Coach Wes is a personal friend of mine. So the trust we have with each other is very special. When it comes to our CEO, Rob Bernardi, and how he gives Coach Steve the opportunity to coach and do his things, if you see like how everyone allows us coaches to do our jobs and do them well, and everyone works together, that's hard to imitate. So that's the first part. But the second part, I think if you look at Pirates, look at how many young players are in their starting lineup. If you look at Chiefs, how many have graduated. You look at SuperSport, Cape Town City, Stellenbosch, to name a few, and even Richards Bay. Look at Bomelo, the striker. He's a beast of a player. So I think this platform, this key challenge, over the last 10 years has saved South African football. That's my statement. I believe it saves African football, because if you look at our national teams, if you look at our PSL teams, it's players coming from these platforms. So I'm very thankful for the sponsors for the PSL for creating this competition, because it forces every team that's in the PSL to invest resources into it, and whether you believe in it or not, it comes. And then sometimes players pop up. Look at Oloetu Makanya. He was playing for Marumo Gallants. We saw him. Thankfully, we could bring him to Stellenbosch FC. Fast forward 12 months later, he's in America playing in the MLS, and the other day played against Messi. That could only happen because of this platform. So I think many clubs are doing this well, and they must just keep going. And I think it's a privilege to be part of it, and to see so many players going on to do wonderful things. Yeah.
Coach,
how far is Talon Smith from getting?
Yeah, Talon Smith is interesting. Look, Talon Smith doesn't need to be. He understands. He's got Bafana centre backs, Tabo and Atenkosi in front of him. He's got Coach Steve brought in Brian, knowing that we were at CAF Onyango to do a job for us, and he has playing that role, and he's mentoring a guy like Talon. And then of course you've got Ishmael Toure. So we are in the top 4 in the PSL. We are in the reaching semi-finals and finals. So it's not easy. Is he ready? Yes, he is ready. Thailand, like I've been saying to him, you've got a massive AFCON coming. You and Bokazi are the anchors of that team. They are the ones who can give us the platform to build into that competition, qualify for the under-20 national team. We can also win the tournament, but for me first that. Because if we have under-17s, if we've got under-20, if we've got Bafana, if we've got 3 teams in the CAF semi-finals, it shows something about African football. Now I go back to my statement. How many are contributors coming from this platform? And so Talon Smith is ready to play PSL. We all know it, Steve knows it, but he is the master of managing that. And Talon will play for many years. I believe he can go even like a guy like Tower, maybe. But he's a Bafana player of the future. There's no doubt about it. God protect him, God keep him. As we had one that was like that as well. And also Stellenbosch boy coming through. So many times Talon says I do it for Aussie. I play with his spirit. So I'm really, really trusting and praying for him to and he will achieve everything he set himself to achieve.
Coach, I'm looking at just the last one from me. I'm looking at just on the lighter note. You mentioned Oloetu Makanya playing against Messi. You even forgot to mention that you pushed him around and even kicked him. Anyway, looking at this team that you have, how easy it is to motivate them, looking at what the senior team is doing. I mean, Stellenbosch, everybody knows the first team to keep a coach for so long. I mean, Coach Steve, as underrated as he is by some people, but look at where he's gotten the team. How easy is it for you to motivate these young stars, looking at their peers playing in the first team?
I think Coach Steve Barker is a great servant to African football. He really is. If you look already back in the day, your Andile Jalis of this world, your George Malulekas, your Grant Kekanas, all these guys that have come, it's Coach Steve who's done it. So I think at our club, if you're a young player who breaks through into our Diski team, whether from within the club or whether coming from outside, if you work hard, if you stay disciplined, if you embrace the culture of our club, and you remain patient, you will break through. Steve Barker will give you an opportunity. Obviously, our club, your Jadens, your Devons, your Van Wyks, your Mkabas, they broke into a team that was establishing itself. I would say wasn't an established a top 8 team. They broke into that. Now the boys have to break into, I would say, without being arrogant, maybe a top 6 team in the PSL. And the third last season, and we've ended, we're fighting in the top 3 in CAF. So they'll have to be a little bit more patient, I would say. But if they buy their time, they will break through, because Steve Barker is not scared to give them opportunities.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you, guys.